Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and tonight I'm going to live stream about my Nikon Zf. Now, it sounded pretty ominous, but there's no ominous to it. What I'm doing is I'm actually going to talk about some things I've already learned about it and some of the things that I have found that I enjoy about it, some of the things that I have found that I want to change, the lenses I want to use, the missed opportunities that Nikon made when they made the mirrorless cameras. There is a huge missed opportunity there, and I'll show you in a little while. We'll go over that, and then we're probably going to go down a bunch of rabbit holes because that's what we do here. we end up on tangents. That's just the way it is. But, anyway, to get things started, excuse me. It has been a nice little bit of weather recently, and it's been something that I've been wanting to, how would you say it? Get out and shoot in for a while because it's just been muggy and hot and miserable and just not pleasant and things like that nature. So here lately it's been cooling off, but as fate would have it, I've been having to work more in the machine shop instead. So that's just the way it is, I guess. Look, we got somebody in the chat. All right. Well, Ray went straight for the jugular, and he's like, let's see the new rig. This is the new rig. Currently, it's outfitted with a vintage AFD lens because that's the only one I had at the time. Well, it's not the only one, but that's the one I chose to put on it at the time. So I could photograph with it some until the lens I wanted came in, which is this one. It came in today. MPB came through in the clutch, and I bought the 50mm f1.8s. Man, I saved let's put it this way. I bought it and the FTZ Gen 2 for less money than a new 51.8 costs from B&H. And this one is in like new condition. There's not a mark on it. It looks literally brand new. I'm pretty sure whoever had it before might have mounted it once. The lens mount looks literally unused. So got the lens. And the reason I picked the 51.8S is because it has a weather seal. It's got a gasket. The Leica CL, the one I've been traveling with, while smaller, lacks weather sealing. And I found in my last trip that I really wanted some weather sealing there. So, I see the bass angler made it. There, I'll type in the chat. Y'all can hear the keyboard, I'm sure. But this lens is weather sealed, and this camera is weather sealed. That was one of the main criteria I was looking for to get this. Let's just put the new lens on it. And then we'll get into the things I really like about this camera. There we go. It looks a little chunky, but it's not bad. I don't mind that. I mean, you take the lens off, it's a very small compact package. It has a focus ring. I'm pretty sure that's programmable. I'll have to look and see, but I'm thinking it is. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, that rig equals my CL with the 35 f1.4 on it, essentially. It's so close, it's like, it's close. Yeah, Bass Angler says the MPB is a good company to buy from, and I agree, it is. It's a really good company to buy from. That was a very painless process. They're pretty good to work with on selling your gear to them, but you got to watch because I don't know what their measurement system is, but some of the equipment you'll sell to them, they offer you really low. No, Ray, it has one ring. It just has the focus ring. It doesn't have a second one. No. It does have the auto manual focus switch. Yeah. But, because like how I came to own this camera, I got the camera, not the lens, but the camera from Randall Brander. Me and him struck a deal on trading some gear, and out of that trade, I ended up with his old ZF, and he also threw in the 105 f2.8. Let's see, which one is this? The GED micro Nikkor 105 millimeter macro lens. I've never owned one of these. This one's a new one to me, so I get to do a lens review on this guy. And it's a beautiful lens. But yeah. So yeah, I was pretty stoked to get all that. And then, and he already had put the, sorry about bumping the mic. He had already put the small rig grip on it, which was the very first thing I was going to buy. And I'm pretty sure he added the soft release. I don't think they come with that. It might, but I don't know. But yeah, I like the little soft release too. I've never used one on a camera before. This was the first one, and it's really nice. But I've already fell in love with the control knobs. I've already got it set to ISO 640 and 1/500th of a second shutter speed. But now I have learned you can go into the menu and you can set controls that if, say, the light gets too low and it starts losing exposure, it'll start pushing the values up and to get you back into a good exposure. I run the display covered 99% of the time. I don't have the display showing because when I'm out shooting, I don't want to chimp, but I will at times, especially if I think I got a good photo and I just want to see. So I'll look and see if it's one I want, and then I will inevitably look up from checking that photo and something super interesting just happened and I missed it. So this actually allows me to hide that. Now on this camera, it folds out to the side. Huh. Thanks for the info. Wonder where it's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't think there's I don't have anything going on in OBS that would do that. I've got all the monitors off so that it doesn't generate the feedback. Thanks for the information. I don't know. Maybe if I get closer to the mic, does that help? We'll see. Bass Angler says, sell your gear to use Photo Pro. No. Okay. All right. Just checking the chat. Let's see. Now, I done had my OODA loop broken. Okay, so get closer to the mic. That's part of the echo. How about that? Now we're on to the mic. Okay. But to get back on the task here, it has the display and it's a touch screen. That's pretty sweet. And let me juice it up. I like that the power switch is where it's supposed to be, under the shutter button. That was one of my complaints about the SL2. It has the on-off switch on the other side of the camera. It's not a deal breaker, and you get used to it pretty quick, but, it's just kind of inconvenient where they put it, because oh, okay. Thank you. But, I've got the lens cap on, so it's a black screen. Oh, boy, it's doing stuff. It immediately brought up the white balance menu. I don't know. I spun the knob. It's focusing and bringing up white balance for some reason. That's bizarre. Oh, you can see it's got the focus scale going. I'm just manually driving it and with my fingers, and it's doing stuff. But long story short, and it'll do the vertical video, like it changes the screen over. I think I'm gonna lock that because that's gonna frustrate me. But this does flip around to allow you to compose it for video. I have vlogged with it already. The video didn't turn out because I was using a manual focus lens, and I didn't move back to where I had focus set, so it was blurry. But it did record good video, so I was happy to see that at least. But yeah, I normally just leave it shut, and I do run the EVF, and I've got it adjusted to my eye to where I don't need to wear glasses for it to be sharp, which is kind of nice. When I'm out shooting, I don't have to worry about trying to look through the lens with the right part of my glasses to be able to see properly. It's kind of that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really like this camera right now. Now that might be what they call it, honeymoon syndrome, because it's new. But for now, I haven't really found much to complain about. The one complaint that I've had so far is it looks like there's some stuttering in the EVF. It's not a smooth motion. Maybe I've got a setting set wrong or something, but John Lawson caught me live. Nice. But yeah, this has really been a fun camera. Now, like I said, I was running this old 50mm f1.4 AFD lens, and I got a lot of really cool photos over the last week or so with it, and it's been a lot of fun. But I was really wanting the 51.8S lens because it's weather sealed. My next lens will probably be another 24-70 f4. I like the compact nature of that, and that's basically the same as a kit lens on a crop sensor camera. The 18-55 is essentially a 24-70 field of view. So, that's what I will probably travel with, and I'll take this 50mm as a backup. But yeah, I love this system. Nikon hit a home run here, and I had almost forgot. Where'd I put it? It's up here somewhere. I got all this crap out. How great the ENEL15 battery is. I've been out twice, 2 different photo shoots with the battery. It's in the camera. And I finally charged it after the second outing, and it still wasn't run down. I just charged it just so it would be good and hot on my next trip. I carried this one and never got it out of my pocket. That's incredible. Power management on it's amazing. Now, I'm going to set it over here so I don't knock it off the table. Now, the 1.8S is a little slower, but it's basically a 50mm Summicron, which it'll mimic my Leica SL2 with the 50mm Summicron on it. So they'll take essentially the same photo. So no matter which of those cameras I grab, I know what I'm going to get. That's kind of the way I've kind of settled into that 50mm focal length at this point in my photography journey. I was shooting about 75mm when I had the XT3, because I'd put 50s and 55 vintage lenses on it, and that's that makes it a little long because you're cropping out the middle and all. And then when I got the Z6, I moved down to 50, and I've kind of realized I like that focal length better, so I'm staying there for a while, and I've really enjoyed using it. And I see why everybody calls it a do-all focal length, because it does pretty well do everything fairly well. It's not perfect for most stuff, but it's really good for about everything. There's very few photos I can't get with a 50. Just a few, but there is a few. Yeah, I'm going to play with it pretty soon. I'm going to get this one out. I got the FTZ2 so I could play with it. Because I've got the Gen 1 FTZ on the Z50 for my video camera here, and I just didn't want to be switching back and forth. And I've got the camera mounted to that foot on that FTZ Gen 1, so it would be a real headache to tear it out and use it and put it back. So I just ordered the Gen 2 one for this. That way I can have one for out in the field photography, and then the one on the Z50 for my video stuff. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to playing with that too. Yeah, it's thunderstorms. Yeah, they've been coming through here too. Zf is a cute camera. Yeah, thank you, Roy. Let's see. John says, I'm close to selling my Z5 and purchasing a ZF. If you like the vintage aesthetic, I'm all in. I always enjoyed the XT3. It had a few shortcomings that I didn't like. Like, I wanted sensor stabilization. And was it the XH2 or XH? I think the XH1 might have had sensor stabilization. I know the XH2 did. And they finally, I think, put sensor stabilization in the XT5. I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked, but I'm thinking that it did come with it. But the XT3 didn't have it. And that was a frustration that I really wanted, but I lived without it. And then it did have the little issue with, I think it was the ISO knob would get sticky. I lubed mine with some silicone-based oil, just like a little tiny bit of it, and got that little detent, whatever, if it's a ball bearing or a leaf spring or whatever it is. I wetted that just slightly, and that solved it, and I never had another problem out of that. But, and I ran the battery grip on mine, so I never had issues with battery life because, with the battery grip on the XT3, you had 3 batteries in the camera at once. So, I could shoot all day and not need a battery. It worked pretty good. But this thing has shockingly good. Now, I haven't run video. I'm pretty sure video will probably tax the battery a lot more. But for stills, for me wandering around the city and taking photos, I was shocked at how much battery life I still had. With the SL2, I get about an hour and a half to 2 hours out of a battery because it'll go into sleep mode since you don't turn it off when you're not shooting with it. And I don't turn that one off, come to think of it. Not often. I do when I'm genuinely not using it, but if I'm wandering the streets, I leave it on. And it will do. The SL2 will drain the batteries in about 2 hours. You got to swap batteries. It'll just go dead. The CL is about the same. Hour and a half, 2 hours to a cell. So I'll carry, if I'm out all afternoon, I'll carry 3 batteries, 4 batteries with me. I'll carry a pocket full of them. It's kind of like shooting with a Sony. With a Sony, you got to have a pocket full of batteries too. But with this ENL-15, man, these things are the magic. I gotta admit, Nikon hit a home run with that battery. I don't know what they do inside that cell, but it's amazing. Roy says, I lost the interest in 50mm years ago, but the new Nikon 50mm f1.2 is something special. Yeah, Ray has one of them. That thing it's sweet. It's about the size of a football. It's enormous. Yeah, I mean, to get 1.2 glass, you got to have a lot of lens. It's just the way it is. But man, that thing it produces some glorious results. Bass Angler says the ENEL-15 batteries are awesome. He got over 800 photos out of a single cell many times. That's a lot of pictures, dude. John Larson asked, which lens am I talking about? I bought the 50mm 1.8S mainly because it's weather sealed and it's essentially, this thing's on. I just took a picture. Essentially, it equals in focal length and aperture my Leica SL2 with the 50mm Summicron L that's on it. That was kind of the reason I went this route. Roy says, funny how we've adjusted ourselves to the mirrorless short battery life. Yes. I just kind of live with it. That's true. See, I'm sure. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh. It's slightly better, sir. It's slightly better than the Tokina. I'm just too cheap to buy one. Oh, okay. That 105 Tokina, yeah. Nano crystal coating. This lens is made in China. But from what I understand, it's a nice lens. It's got vibration reduction in it. That's pretty sweet. And that'll add to what's on the camera. Everything is weak compared to the Z9 batteries. Well, the Z9 batteries is two of these glued together. Good grief. It's crazy how much more life I get compared to the Z6 II with two in the grip. Really? I know the Z9 has extreme battery life. It'd be nice if you could get a battery grip for like the mid-grade cameras, like the Z8 and the Z7, Z6 II, even the Zf, and you could put that monster Z9 battery in it. That'd be pretty slick, which they probably do that somewhere. Now that's shooting birds in the cold with a 1/3200th of a second shutter speed, so it's not too hard on the amp draw. The cold's not good on batteries, especially these rechargeables. But yeah. All right, here's something that I wanted to bring up. I'm going to segue into another topic that I've noticed that is a... Oh, look, C2C Disciples in the house. How you doing this evening? John says he's been using the Tamron 45 f1.8 F mount. It's got image stabilization. It's a beautiful lens. Tamron makes some glorious glass. Aaron shoots with Tamron a good bit, and all the stuff, well, he may have transitioned all over to Nikkor now, but he had a ton of Tamron glass with his F-mount stuff, and he took beautiful images. And like I said, he may still have a few pieces. Oh, man, I was hoping I could turn on closed caption and read what David is saying, since it's smack dab in the middle of Bible study online viewing on the flat screen TV. Do I not have it enabled? I don't know how to fix that. Let me look and see if I can turn it on. I'm looking. Give me a second. Playlists, promotions. No, I don't have that. Features, automatic. Concepts, languages. This content is aired on tablet. What? What's this? Oh, this is certifications. Okay. I just did a caption certification. We'll see if that helps. I'll save it. Maybe it'll enable it. We'll find out in a minute. I put out an APV for Hassan. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I figured he'd be on tonight. He may be doing soccer or something. His kids are active. They're very active, so he may be out doing some like soccer or football or something like that. I did it with my D850. Really? Love the Z9 battery. Nearly DSLR like. I wish the Z8 grip took the ENEL18 battery too. But yeah, this is the next thing I wanted to bring up. I'm going to go ahead and take the lens hoods off, because then it gives you a better representation of the lenses. All right. These two lenses are the same lens. Actually, this one has a lot larger aperture. This is a 35 millimeter. I'm pretty sure it's an f2.8. Does it say it's LMR? Let me look. Yeah. This is a 35 millimeter f2.8. This is a 35 millimeter f1.4. So this is basically a Summilux. The Voigtlander calls it the Nocton. And this is an LMR at R. Okay. The difference in these two lenses is the kind of cameras they're engineered for. This is engineered for an SLR or a DSLR if it was a digital camera, but a camera with a mirror box and a pentaprism. So this lens has to reach past that to the film plane. This lens is designed for a rangefinder to give you a real measurement of the size of the lens. if we take the lens cap off, that is a 35 millimeter f1.4 M mount lens. That's all of it. Okay, f1.4 aperture. The reason I bring this up is this is the M adapter L from Leica that allows me to put M lenses on my L mount cameras. Okay, so if you line up the lens mounts, these will fit on my SL2 or my CL or whatever. Okay, they're both 35 millimeter. That's the point I'm trying to make here. This one has a much larger aperture too. And you can see how the difference in the lenses, all right? Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that Nikon missed a wonderful opportunity with the Z-mount cameras because they have the shortest flange distance, from what I understand, in the entire industry in mirrorless cameras. If the Leica rangefinder lenses can be that small, now that's a manual lens. Both of these are manual actually, but you see how short it is. That's because they've engineered this lens for that short flange distance to the focal plane on the film, on an M. That's what that's for. But, you know, the M11 is a digital M, and this lens will snap right on it, and it's 35 millimeter, and it's f1.4. There was no need to make this lens this big when they could have re-engineered the lens to basically rangefinder sizes, with the flange being so close, or almost to rangefinder sizes. They could have shrunk these lenses to half of what this is easily, and they chose not to. That's kind of almost, it's kind of sad. You know, I was expecting, when I saw this, I was like, that could be smaller, a lot smaller. Knowing what understanding what I do now about the flange distance to film plane and the engineering of the lenses, not all 50 millimeters are required to be this long. You got to do it. After seeing how the M's work, rangefinder lenses are smaller physically. I mean, this proves it. That's a 35 millimeter, and it's a f1.4 aperture, and it's that tiny. You know, it's hard to argue with that logic. I'm holding it in my hand. I know it can be done, and they chose not to do it. All they did was, now they did improve the glass. And I'm sure there are some engineering improvements that happened, you know, some stuff, as they say, that happened under the hood. But they didn't bother to change the flange distance. If you stand these lenses up, this is the 50 AFD f1.4. They're essentially the same size. You can see all they done was pushed it out. You know, the lens cap still makes it look long, but there you go. If you get them side by side, they're essentially the same size. You can see it right there. If I back it up, you can. But, you know, in my mind, that's all they did, was they just put all the elements in the front half. That opened up all this space in the back for electronics, I guess, you know, because there ain't nothing back there. And there's like no reason that I can see for this lens to be this big. You know, and you can get that little 40 millimeter, I think it's an f2.8, and it's a little tiny lens. That's what I was thinking that the new Z lenses were going to turn into, because you shorten the flange, you shorten all that necessary, all the glass, but you have to re-engineer it. And I don't know if they may not have had time. Any number of things could have caused it, but I just thought it was really unusual. Let me see. Less size in the glass, the less corrections. Yeah, I mean, it's easier to make smaller elements. You know, grinding great big elements is not easy. And it's more expensive because it's more glass and more surface area, and everything's just more expensive the bigger the glass gets. A well-corrected lens has to have a lot of glass, and that's true, it does. because we live on Earth and things aren't perfect here. It's like light bends different ways, different colors of light bends in different directions as it goes through the lens. I was learning about that recently, and it's like different lens elements bend different colors of light, and that's how they line them back up at the end and make them apochromatic and all that stuff. It was pretty impressive that somebody could figure that out. Let's see here. If you want a small lens, put a hole in the body cap instead. I looked at those. They make a 28 millimeter F. What is it? F6.3, maybe 5.6, F6.3, maybe F8. There was somebody makes a little tiny body cap size 28 millimeter, and I almost ordered it. The problem with it is it's focusable since it's not like F11. And since you have to focus it, the focus ring on it is super narrow and it'd be right up against the camera. Like, I want it to where I can at least reach the focus ring. But, this lens is pretty big. It really is. For what it is, it's bigger than I was expecting it to be. It's like the 28. I think they make a 28 f1.8s. It should be even smaller. It's nice and welcomed for us wildlife photographers, but I can see your point on what you're looking for. Yeah. That's the difference between designing a lens to shoot with versus one that has light corrections for everything. Yeah, and different camera designs, physical different camera designs, because like I said, the mirror assembly pushed the film plane further away from the back of the lens. And because of that, they had to make up for that by changing the geometry of the glass so that it would still project the image correctly onto that film plane. Because you can just see that's the difference on the SL. That's pretty dramatic. I mean, but yeah, that was something I've always wondered, is why they didn't re-engineer the glass to work with the new flange, because it gives them so much room to work. I mean, the flange is so big in diameter and so close to the sensor that you can't mess it up. If you don't mind chromatic distortion and chromatic aberrations and distortions, you can have very small lenses. Yeah. Leica's been able to figure out how to make apochromatic, lenses and things like that, and they're still fairly small. Now, they're ludicrously expensive. Maybe that's the trade-off. You got to be willing to pay the $6,000 that they ask for one of them, for a manual lens. Let's see. All right, let me make sure I ain't missed nothing. Got all of this. I had stuff that I was wanting to make sure that I touched on tonight. Next thing I wanted to bring up, I'm going to shift gears on you guys again, is this. This came to me as a gift from Craig Morris. He's the photographer that, I don't know where he keeps coming up with these vintage cameras, but he keeps finding them, then he brings them to me. So I have this really awesome collection of these vintage cameras now. But this is the Instamatic X35F, and this says camera outfit. Now this box is a camera outfit. Inside the box is the camera. The owner's manual used to sit here, but it's gone now. Then you got a roll of film, and then that's the battery out of the camera. Now get this. This is pretty cool. I haven't checked the voltage, but I'm pretty sure this battery probably still has some juice in it. Oh, there's the paperwork. Let me set this down. There's the service manual in the box. So I don't know what went right there. There's a cutout in the styrofoam for something there. Don't remember. Don't know. I didn't get that piece of it. But this is a prize in itself. This is a unopened pack of Kodachrome 64 that expired in 1984. It's unopened. That blew my mind when I saw that. Yeah, I checked the expiration date. It's October of 1984 is when it expired. Unopened Kodachrome. I don't even know if you can develop Kodachrome anymore. I'm pretty sure the last company that could do it went out of business or stopped or shut down production. And there's like a whole documentary on the last roll of Kodachrome. All right. But yeah. Oh, there's the battery compartment because it says it right there. Battery for electric eye. So that goes in there. Okay. So there's where the battery goes. I wonder what the electric eye is. Maybe there was a flash bar or something that went right there. I bet it had the horizontal flash cube. What do you bet? But this thing is cool. Because it does have the socket on top. I bet that's what it was. I have yet to open it. Let's see. Is that how you do it? Yeah. Yeah. It just barely does open. Don't fully hinge. Solid plastic. High quality plastic, mind you. It doesn't even appear to look used. But the place where he works was going to throw this away. They had found it on the shelf, and it had been there since whenever they bought it in the late 70s from the looks of things. And they hadn't used it in ages. And here it is in my possession now, but it shoots that 126 film, the wide, like 110 film, but twice as tall. That's what it shoots. Yeah, I know, Roy, but Woody Mallory's in the game. The film, I can guarantee you, was not stored in a cold environment. It was stored in a warehouse where it got very hot in the summer. Okay, good. Just got a note about my audio being better. But yeah. But yeah, I was just blown away by this. And then it gets better. Let's set this down. I'm actually considering 126 film. I'd dump it too. Yeah, I think that's what this is. I'm pretty sure it's 126 film. Yeah, 126 cartridge film. Kodachrome. This roll of film was $4.67 when it was bought. But yeah, it's never been opened. That's got to be like some kind of collectible at this point. Somebody would want this for a collection, you know. Then he gives me this box. This is a Kodamatic 960 Instamatic camera, instant camera. The box is a little worse for wear. But inside the box, you have all of the documentation. You have the how to use the camera. And then you have the care and service book, which was a completely separate book. Apparently this is like the quick start guide. I didn't open it and see. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right. This is what you get. I haven't looked for batteries or anything. It takes regular Kodak this is a Kodamatic, so it will take Kodak instant film. If I had to guess, it don't take Polaroid film. If I was to guess, instant Kodamatic color, instant color film. So, when was the last time you saw that film on the shelf? Uses Kodamatic instant color film, HS 144-10, Eastman Kodak Company, Rochester, New York. Wrote right on the lid. Now, I think I figured this out. Yeah. Let me latch it again. And I have it upside down. There you go. But that's pretty cool. I mean, I have never seen a Kodak version of the Polaroid. I didn't even know they made one, if you just want to know the truth about it. It has a frame counter. It tells you how many shots are left in your cartridge. Oh, there's where the batteries go. Yeah, it takes 4 AA batteries. I found the battery compartment finally. I was wondering where it was. Oh, and they're all oriented the same way. One of them was corroded, so they've used this one and they let the batteries corrode in it. But yeah, I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I would, just to have this as a decorative piece. And it's got the bellows design. But yeah. But look how flat it folds. And you wear it, and it carries like a Sony Walkman, essentially. I have photographed 2 Eagle releases and a high school volleyball game in 5 days this week. Yeah, we have some photos to look at. Woody sent me some of the pictures, so we'll look at those in a minute. Polaroid sued Kodak over their instant handycam and won, probably for this camera. It looks just like a Polaroid. Everything about it looks like one. Makes me wonder if the Impossible Project film would work in it. Oh, it's got an exposure meter. That's what I think this is. I don't know for sure what that is. I'd have to look in the owner's manual. It looks like an exposure meter on the bottom of it. Because you can move this slider and it darkens down the frame and lightens it. You can see how it closes down and gets rid of the little white specks. And then you can make it fully involved. But I was impressed. Oh, it has modes too. Off, auto, and reset. Oh, you can reset it. I wonder what that does. I don't know. It's got a flash button. You can test the flash because you can take an ink pen, push it through, and push the button and fire it. The flash is on top of it. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, these things are still in the box. So I got to come up with a way of displaying them somehow in the room of doom or whatever this is going to be called. I haven't named the area yet. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Oh, wow. These are going to be awesome. Huh. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if I can find the pick and pick screen. Let me see if this is going to work. Yeah. Check this out. That's pretty glorious. These are Woody Mallory's photos. He emailed them to me earlier this week. I've been so busy playing with the ZF, I haven't really checked my email much. I kind of like that one because you can see the feathers more, and his head's casting a little bit of a shadow. Or she, I don't know if it's a female or a male. Yeah, those are awesome. Look how sharp this is. Wow. It's incredible, Woody. I like that photo. Look how it tucks its feet up under its tail. Makes it very streamlined. I always wonder how a bird can fly till you pick one up. They don't weigh anything. But now an eagle's fairly heavy. Look at that. That's impressive. Look how big those talons are. Man, that's a monster. What an awesome photo. Yeah. Thank you for sharing those, Woody. Oh, I'm back on me. Yes, those are awesome. Now, let me see here. What rabbit holes we got this week? Shot 2 videos. Lost the footage from one video. Corrupted the card on the video for the other one. So I've shot technically 0 videos this week. It has been an off week. Successfully killed the first 2 parts on the very last op on a job I've been working on for 2 weeks. Got 10 pieces in the run. Set up the first 2 to countersink the holes, and it's 304 stainless. The stupid countersink grabbed and pulled itself into the stainless, slipping out of the collet, and broke the cutter off, gouging into the parts. Oh, it's been one of them days. It's been a real bad day. Everything was going great to the countersink op. Female eagles can weigh 15 pounds? Wow. That's impressive. Was that bass angler on the screen? You would think that was him come this winter. He's going to be out there with them so much he'll look like one of them. No, it was Woody. Oh. It is a very large female. Today's eagle was hatched this year, so very young, but on its own. Nice. Okay, so yeah, how old do they have to be for their heads to turn white? I know that it doesn't happen immediately. It takes a while. So like a 1-year-old juvenile, I'm pretty sure is still all brown, isn't it? One of y'all chime in and tell me. I know that there's 2 or 3 of you that know. Oh. Let's see if I can remember it. I was going to jump back on this ZF thing for a minute. 5-year-old. Okay, thank you, Bass Angler. I knew one of you knew. But I was going to go over the highlights of this camera and what really makes me want to shoot with it. Number 1 really is battery life. That crap is good. It's incredible how good it is. Compared to Leica. Leica's got good image quality, but their battery life stinks. I'll just be honest with you. They need to spend some time on battery management in their software. It needs it. You know, I will normally deploy out for a day with at least 4 cells. You know, that's just, but I digress. The second thing I like is this little tiny knob right here. This knob is a exposure compensation knob. I really like having a dedicated exposure compensation knob. Now it's got 0, and then it's got -1, 2, and 3, and +1, 2, and 3, which are obvious what they are. And it's got 1/3 stop increments between them. Then it's got this letter C on the other side. So if you spin it half a revolution to the C, it moves control of this to a command wheel. There's 2 command wheels. There's one on the front, one on the back. And the command wheels on the ZF are not buttoned. You know how like the D810 and I'm assuming the D850, you could push in on the command wheels and it'll click a button? These don't have that. They're just wheels. They're detinted, but they don't click when you push on them. Neither one. And that's what the C is for. It's for command wheel option. You can shift it over to a command wheel. You can do it with that. You can do it with the ISO. Both of them have the C option to move them to a command wheel. The shutter speed, I'm not sure you can move it to a command wheel by just setting a thing. Maybe the 1/3 step function will let you do that. It probably will. But I don't know if it auto defaults, because I haven't used it, because I've just left it on like 1/500th of a second and shot with it. Because every day I've been out with it, it's been real bright sun, so it works out. 1/500th is plenty fast enough, and I haven't needed to mess with it. But it's got some cool features there. I want to remap the control for the zoom, the focus zoom. It's this plus and minus buttons down here next to the display and menu buttons. And that's not real convenient. And Aaron was talking about that with his Z8. He wants to remap that same button to a different spot on his Z8 because it's handy to zoom in on the focus and confirm focus. Well, let me see here. Oh. We're going to pause this. All right, let me see if I can find. Yeah, we're just going to switch this over. This is the photo Woody got today. Check that out. Isn't that something else? Wow, that's impressive, Woody. What a photo. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, you can tell he's a juvenile. His head hasn't changed colors, or she. I don't know if it's a male or a female. Y'all will have to let me know in the chat, but wow, just look at that. Yeah, I like that one. Thanks for sending that over, Woody. What a photo. That's impressive. I'm going to jump back on this. Yeah, that's incredible, dude. What a picture. Yeah. I agree, Bass Angler. The exposure compensation wheel is nice. I really like having it where I can be looking through the viewfinder and I can just reach up and just dial in some and watch. And the beautiful thing about the mirrorless cameras is that you get to see it immediately. That was the one thing I really enjoyed about the XT3. It had an exposure compensation dial, and you could see the frame. Was it what you see? What you see is what you get kind of result. You can kind of see it. But now it does have video record, and the record button's right here on the top. And you throw a little switch right here, and it's got black and white mode, camera mode, and video mode. Is this little toggle switch underneath the shutter speed knob. And then you got your record button. The record button's in a good spot. I kind of like it being there. It's not in a bad spot at all. Now your main function control switch is this little throw lever, and it selects between manual, aperture priority, shutter priority, and program mode. And then it's got one called auto, which is, why did you buy this camera if you're going to shoot it in auto? Okay, I guess there's times when it's convenient and you just want to just snap photos, I guess. But everybody I know is going to shoot in something other than auto. I don't know of anybody that's going to use auto. But the EVF has the usual thing there where you focus it for your vision. I don't know what this little button does. It may be the button. No. I need to look in the manual. I honestly don't know what this button does. One of them will usually switch between EVF and screen or auto switch. That's probably this one right here on the side. But I don't know what that little one on the back is. It doesn't have any markings. But, it has the usual Nikon menu, which is nice because once you've shot Nikon a little while, the menu hasn't really changed. They've added some things to it, but as far as like a overhaul of the menu, they haven't done that. It's the same as it was on my D810 and my D7000, essentially. It just has, more features or things that don't apply anymore or remove, like shutter lockup or whatever, stuff like that. I mean, this one I think has a shutter in it. I'm pretty sure it does. Let's see. I don't know. I haven't checked. I know it makes shutter sounds, but then you can add that in post. So, oh yeah, it's got a shutter. I seen it go. Okay. All right. But that's good to know. So this is not like the Z8 and the Z9. It has a shutter. And And I have release without focus confirmation enabled because it just took some pictures. Let me close this out. Go back. There we go. All right. Is it a lot lighter? Gary Buzel, how you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping in. I've been watching your videos. You've got some interesting shorts about, like, you know, the choosing to use Leica lenses and things like that. You've got some cool content, dude. I like your videos that you've been putting out here lately. If y'all haven't went over to his channel yet, you see his name, Gary Buzel. Is it Buzel or Buzel? I guess Buzel, because it only has one L. Photography. Just search that on YouTube. He's got a channel, and it's more Leica-centric, but he has some really cool black and white photography. He's got another channel called Forgotten America or Forgotten Americana. You can search that and find it pretty easily too. You can see it's him. It may be the same channel. Chime in, Gary, and let me know if I'm saying all this right. Give me some data to work with here. But he did a video recently out in was it Kansas? Buzel. Okay, there you go. Where he went to a ghost town, and it was cool. It was a really cool video. He's got some cool drone shots to show you stuff, and a lot of really cool urban decay photography that's just straight up my alley. Kind of a little bit upset that you didn't call me for that trip. It's the same channel. Okay, Forgotten Americana. There you go. There it is, guys. It was in Oklahoma. Yeah, that was a cool video, dude. Randall's in the house. How you doing, Randall? Been telling everybody about the camera you sent me, and how great it is, and I really appreciate you trading with me. Pitcher, Oklahoma. Yeah, that was a pretty cool place, dude. I like that video. Hello, everyone. Blue moon tonight. Get your cameras out and get ready for some wonderful night photos. We need to collab. Yes, we do. Is it a lot lighter than the Leica SL? Okay, there we go. I can already say yes, because there's the Leica. Yeah, it's probably a third lighter, just by feeling them. It's at least a third lighter. It's pretty much the same footprint. I mean, you can see, get above it, get them together here. You can see they're essentially the same physical footprint. They both got 50 mils on them. Let's see. We take the lens hoods off. Let's see what they look like this. Look at that. You know what I was complaining about? Flange distance and how you can make the lenses smaller. What do you know? They could have too. But now, Leica did these. They did all of these primes in the same housing for some reason. They had a reason. They talk about that reason on their advertising literature, but oh, that was a loud lens cap slap. But yeah, oh, I got it upside down now. There we go. That lens is also, though the Nikon's a third stop faster. It's a 1.8. Come think of it. Leica makes up for the weight in your wallet. Well, you know, when they make the chassis out of solid gold, gold's pretty dense. It's heavier than magnesium, so, you know, that's the way it is. Picture was torn up by a tornado several years back. Wow. An EF4. Wow. Wow, that's bad. Same housing saves money and confuses everyone. Confuses everyone. Yeah, that's why they wrote on the top of the lens in great big orange numbers what size it is. Let's see here. I'm about 20 minutes away from the Red River. Oh. I'm just southeast of there, about 100 miles north of Fort Smith. Oh, yeah. So you're close. That's only, what, about a 2-hour drive or hour and a half? Somewhere about probably 2 hours. Did Randall leave? Let me find my thing. Oh. Yeah, then I completely lost my train of thought. Reading this chat blew me away, y'all. Let's see, which one is this? Leica L to Nikon Z. I have so many of these things. It is ludicrous. I found a whole lot of my Fujifilm to various film lenses mounts. Still here. Good. My outlaw's roof. If you know anybody that shoots Fuji X mount, you know, like the XT family, the XH family, if y'all know anybody that has one of those cameras, let me know. I will give you those adapters because I'm not going to use them and I'm not interested in trying to eBay them. They're really not all that valuable, you know, so I would literally box them up and give them to somebody that can use them. I also found a few Sony NEX adapters. I'm assuming it's the new Sony mount because I had a Sony A7 II for a little while and these fit it. I've got 2 or 3 of them I stumbled across the other day straightening up stuff. So if any of y'all knows somebody that can use a couple of Sony adapters or quite a few Fujifilm adapters, let me know. And some of them Fujifilm adapters might even have neutral density filters built into them. Just saying. Like I was going to shoot video with them, or I was trying to come up with an easy way to have an ND filter on the lens. I got a bunch of that sort of stuff, and Sony NEX is the crop mount. Okay. Well, these are the full frame. Whatever the full frame is, that's what these are. At least that's what I had. I had bought the adapters to put on the A7 II and adapt vintage lenses to it. But yeah, then it ain't that one, it's the other one. Like I decided not to go back to the Bronze Age, so they just did brass. That's a good one, Randall. Yeah. Now, the irony in that is I am pretty sure this knob on here is aluminum. But the case on the chassis on this thing, if it would surprise me, it might actually be brass. I don't know. The edges are starting to shine through the paint and there's silver underneath. So I don't know if it's aluminum or magnesium or what the chassis are actually made of on the SLs. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, and I'm testing something else. I bought a set of those batteries off of Amazon. Somebody actually finally makes an aftermarket battery to fit the SL family, and they even have the gasket on them. So I've got a couple of them in, and I'm using them a little bit, and so far, things are looking good. The voltage looks good on them. I checked them with a voltmeter. They match the Leica cell voltages exactly. The camera doesn't detect it as a bad battery or anything. It works perfectly. And they're $75 a piece instead of $300. You know. So that's a big plus for the SL, because I was starting to worry about the battery situation, because I just didn't want to spend another $1,000 on 4 batteries when these go bad, you know. And I was able to come up with a solution for a lot more reasonable money. Yes, yeah, from what I understand, this is cased in brass. These knobs are brass knobs, so as this paint wears off, it'll start showing the brass underneath them, like they did that on purpose, and that's what gives the camera most of its weight, supposedly. Like, it's got a magnesium chassis, but it's got brass parts on the outside, so it will have the vintage look when it wears some. I'm pretty sure you're right. The tornado chat blew you away. You guys are good. That was a good one, Bass Angler. David's moonshining again. Daggum ATF's going to raid me and find out that this is water out of my tap in the kitchen. I really feel sorry for Jericho, my dog, too, because y'all know what the ATF does to the dog. Gary says, I want that Nikon. I see it. I see you now. I'm not happy about camera makers chipping their batteries lately. Yeah. And Nikon isn't immune to it. They, every one of these ENELs, the newer generations, this is a C. I think my Z6 had Bs, and it would use the older batteries that were just the ENEL 15, but it turned off certain features. It wouldn't do everything that the camera could do with just the old batteries. You had to use the new battery to get all of the stuff the camera can handle or can do. No Stream Cat? No. Long story. She lives on the porch now. She decided for some reason to start peeing all over the house, and like on my shoes, on the plant right in there, just on the middle of the step. She had to go outside. She lives outside now. She seems to be happier for it. I'm beginning to wonder if there was something else that was wrong that was making her do that, but yeah, it was becoming a problem really fast. So I don't want my house to smell like that. So yeah, she lives outdoors now. She's on the porch. She loves it. I built her a little heated room for the wintertime, so she has a warm spot to sleep even in the winter. Yeah, even the dog has a heated doghouse. Aaron's seen it. Anybody that's been here knows that Jericho has his food and water, and his sleeping arrangement is heated in the winter. Yeah, that's what Sierra said too. But now that she's outside, she's fine. But that may be all it was. But yeah, it was just like weird places. I'm reading, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Randall says, I told Mr. Camera Junkie, just got info about your Fuji adapters and lenses. I don't have any lenses. I do have a bunch of adapters. The whole time I owned my X-T3, I owned 2 Fuji X lenses. I had the kit lens that come with the camera, and I bought that 56 f1.2, I think it is. And I shot with the 56-1.2 a few times, and then I sold it. And then when I sold the XT3, I sold the kit lens with it because that's how it came. And I figured, that's the way, I got it, and I sent it on its own. But yeah, that's, That's what I have. I have a whole bunch of those adapters. I don't know, 6 or 8, maybe even more. I kept finding them. They're in a bin down there, and there's a bunch of them in a bin over here. And I was like, man, all of these Fujifilm adapters. I didn't realize I had adapted so many lenses to that camera system. Oh, Randall, you're probably right. Cause she does spray like a tomcat. That's something I didn't know females did. That was bizarre. The first time I caught her doing that, was literally on my work coat, and I was like, and it really made me mad, because then I had to immediately put it in the washing machine and wash it. But yeah, that may be what it's about. Let's see. How is the grip feel on your ZF? Yes. Thank you for sending that small rig grip. That makes it perfect. The grip profile of the small rig grip gives it just enough. Dogs do it too. I didn't know that. Huh. That's a new one on me. I had no idea dogs did it. But yeah, that depth of grip right there, perfect. I just realized you can unbolt the grip and you can make your own. I could make one out of walnut and bolt it onto this grip. Now I'm interested in experimenting. Yeah, 2 bolts right there holds the grip on. This feels good. I'll probably run this until this rubber starts to come apart, and then I'll mess around with making a walnut grip or something like that for it. But yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. I like the fact that it has the built-in Arca Swiss plate. That's nice. Plus, it's 1/4-20 threaded as well with a bunch of spots. But yeah, having the built-in Arca Swiss plate is really nice. I have that on my CL on the little half grip that's on it, or half case. It's got a metal aluminum base on it, and that aluminum base has the Arca Swiss mount in it. That's really nice. Once you have that, you miss it on the cameras that don't. I used this to take the team photo yesterday for Liberty, and I like the fact Leica gives you a 12-second timer. I don't know why they chose 12 over 10, but 12 seconds is just enough time for me to start the timer, go get in the photo and get in my pose, and then take the picture. Works every time. I've taken the Liberty team photo for 4 or 5 years. Well, ever since I've had this camera, I've used it to take the photo because it just takes beautiful images. But I've used that particular camera to do it every time. Go for walnut. Yeah. Roy says my wife taught the dog to pee on the newspaper while I'm reading it. Gary is asking, do you have the Nikon Z 40mm f2 pancake? If so, how do you like it? No, I do not. I almost ordered it from MPB when I ordered this other stuff, because I ordered an FTZ Gen 2 and I ordered that 51.8S. I just didn't do it yet, and it wasn't for any particular reason other than I just wanted to play with the camera first before I committed a whole bunch of resources, just to make daggum sure I liked it. I do. So now I'll probably be ordering that lens. But now that I've got the 1.8S, I'm going to carry it out probably tomorrow and Friday some and do some photos with it. Try to make a video that actually makes. Actually, I misspoke earlier. I said I shot 2 videos this week. The corrupted card wasn't technically the card's fault. Turns out my little lav mic I wear, the cable that goes down and plugs into the recorder broke, and like every other or every third audio clip I recorded was like almost nothing there. You could barely hear it, like the wire was broke. So I ordered another lav mic. It'll be here in a day or so. But yeah, I had a video recorded. I've recorded one literally yesterday, and the audio's trash. So it was real windy in Chattanooga, so the audio off the Osmo Action will have too much wind noise. It's got some good noise reduction for wind noise, but it's not good enough to combat like strong wind. And when I walked across the river, it was really blowing. And the lav mic with the little wind muff works great. You don't hear it at all. So I'll reshoot that video. And the lav mic, like I said, I think it's supposed to be here tomorrow. But yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. You know, equipment wears out, and just upgrade it when it does. C2C Disciple has the 40 mil, and he likes it. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get it. I would like to get the 28, but I think I would shoot more with that 40. Roy says the 40 is so good that he can forgive the plastic lens mount. I'll be honest with you. This 10 to 20 Nikkor that's on this Z50 has a plastic lens mount, and this is a beautiful lens. It's sharp. It's everything about it's just great. It's a beautiful piece of glass. So sometimes, you know, the little kit lens has a plastic mount, but you kind of expect it on the little cheapy kit lens. But even the kit lens that comes with the Z50 takes really good photos. Excuse me. Let's see. I got the newer grip for $16, but didn't have the thumb grip. Yeah, I don't need the thumb grip. I don't believe it. Don't have one on the small rig either. It's just on the front only. Now, the way I carry when I'm hand carrying, I'll wrap the strap, and then I'll just let the camera hang by the strap, and I'll just carry it by my fingertips. But it's tied to my arm. Even if it slips off, it don't go anywhere, you know. So, get that turned back around. But yeah, I'll just let it just ride by those fingers, and it just works for me. All of my cameras have a deep enough grip to do that. The Z50 has a grip. And I guess to make room for the battery, because the grip has the battery in it, you know, and it's mounted in the grip, not behind it in the chassis, but actually in the grip. But it has a deep enough grip to even carry that way. But yeah, that's how I carry my straps when I'm out walking, if I want to hang hold the camera. I think they were bundling it in the beginning, but I don't know if they're still doing that. You know, like with the Z6, back in the day, you got an FTZ with the camera when they first launched the Z-mount. And now you don't get the FTZ anymore. It's a separate purchase. I think that was like a promo when they first launched it. Randall says the Z30 and the Z50 have the same grip, but one camera has an EVF, the 50. Yeah, the 30 is the Gen, was it the Gen Alpha camera? Because you look at the back of it like you do an iPhone. That's kind of the idea, but with the Leica TL and TL2 it was to reach, you know, they were reaching out to the younger crowd that's used to looking at the back of a smartphone to take photos. It was, you know, designed to do the same thing, but with better lenses and a bigger sensor. You know, I think it was a crop sensor instead of the little tiny microscopic phone sensor. Gary says, that's cool. Thanks, guys. 40 is more my drift as I'm a 35 focal length shooter. Yeah, I mean, I have the Voigtlander knocked on 40 millimeter in the M mount on the M adapter L. And then I've got this vintage 35 millimeter Elamar, which is a 2.8 R mount. And I've got it adapted And this lens takes actually very good photos. It's really nice. Shockingly so, actually. And it focuses really close, like less than a foot. That's something you don't get with an M mount lens, is the close focus that the R mount has. Like, seriously, it probably goes to 7-8 inches. And that's, I don't know if that's from the front of the lens or from the film plane. That's close. That's almost macro levels of focus. This one focuses to like 1 meter, I think. I think that's minimum focus on this. No, it goes a little less. It goes to 0.7 meters. Was that about 2 feet? Than the Voigtlander does. But a lot of those M mount lenses don't go but to about 1 meter. They're not meant to be shot real close up. But yeah, I was talking about that earlier, about how Nikon missed a golden opportunity, and by extension, so did Leica. And for me, Leica had the better opportunity because they've already engineered the close film plane lenses for their rangefinder cameras. There was really not a lot of reason other than to, like, I think it was Roy said earlier, you need a lot of lens elements to correct everything on Earth wrong with the glass, because, you know, with the film plane being so close to the flange, the mount flange, this lens should have been able to be this big. You know, I don't know if they just needed more room for electronics or servo motors or whatever, so they made it larger to accommodate all that. But it seems to me like these lenses could be a lot smaller than they actually are. And it may be that there's a lot of elements in here, and, you know, there might be 13 elements in 8 groups or whatever, you know. And because of that, there's physically got to be enough space for all that glass to fit or something. But I thought that was interesting that even though the flange mount got really, really short, the lenses really didn't get any smaller. I have a 20 millimeter as well. It's a nickel. It's right there on the shelf. Only thing I use that 20 mil for is mountaintop vista photos or astro. Like if I try to take photos of the stars at night, I get it out for that. Otherwise, I've used it once to do a large family gathering where there was probably 60, 70 people in a group, and we were in a room, and the 20 made it to where it was wide enough to where we got everybody in one photo, you know. But that's kind of how it works sometimes. Yeah, I'll get to what Randall's saying in just a second. Randall's like, I shoot 16, 24, 28, 35, and 50. It's funny because, like, I am essentially a 50 millimeter shooter for the most part. I have gotten to where I'm really comfortable with 50 mil, and I've been really enjoying using 50s here lately. So the 35 on the CL is like when we went to Milwaukee, the videos that just got published, I only took that one lens. I took the camera, the one lens, and all the batteries and the charger. That was it. All right, Roy, I saw what you said, what you did there. Randall Branders brought up that Tech Art makes the TZM-02 lens adapter. Now, this lens adapter, I seen a video earlier today by another YouTuber as well that's talking about this adapter, and it takes an M-mount Leica lens or an M-mount lens. It don't have to be made by Leica. Just, you know, there's several companies that make M-mount lenses now, but it allows you to snap that lens on this adapter, and what it is, it's a focus helicoid that's controlled by the autofocus system of the Nikon Z cameras, because I think Nikon released the communication spec to make your third-party lenses work with their cameras, and by doing that, Tech Art's figured out how you set the focus on the lens to infinity, and then you snap it on that adapter, and that adapter can actually move in and out enough to focus the lens by just pushing the whole lens in and out, and it'll focus it. And it does it. Apparently, it works pretty well. But the smaller the lens, the faster the autofocus because of the weight. But yeah, apparently it works really well. C2C Disciple says, I was jonesing for the new 20mm G lens, but we had Tamron 15-30 and a bunch of manual primes. Yeah. There it is, right there. The only wide lens I have. And currently it has a variable neutral density filter on it. You can't even tell the difference. But if I take it off, you can see. There you go. This is the 20mm AFD f2.8 Nikkor. I autofocused it on the D810 when I had it, but now it's all manual focus. But you stop it down anyway. But I'll focus to infinity at f2.8, and then I'll stop it down to either f11 or f16 and do long exposures at night with it. I love to shoot like the Milky Way with it and stuff. But yeah, it's a cool lens. I mean, 20mm is wide. A lot wider than people give it credit. It's not 16. It's not, 10, which this one could be. This is 10 to 20 on this camera, and currently I'm probably at 16, something like that. So this would pretty well work. But yeah, that's a cool lens. I've had that lens for a long time. Takes glorious photos. Ah, there it is. I'm waiting on the Z replacement for the D500. I'm beginning to wonder if they're having trouble figuring out how to make a camera better than that thing. The D500 is an awesome camera. I think Bass Angler's still shooting with one. But they are incredibly good cameras, even to this day. Nikon hasn't figured out how to best it. What is that? I don't know. The Z6 III may be the closest you will get. Full frame isn't as much clearer these days. Yeah, well, for me, the plan was, because the autofocus on the ZF is really good too. My plan was to use the 500 phase Fresnel and then add the 1.4 teleconverter to that to get me 700 millimeters, I think it is. 700 is good. That's a lot. For little birds and stuff, that's fine. If I want to shoot bigger animals like elk or deer or whatever, then I'll just run just the 500. But Bass Angler's like, you couldn't pry the D500 out of my hands because they don't make anything that can compete with it. You're right. That camera's an epic piece of equipment. So you got some funky fish eyes. I never bothered with buying fisheye lenses. I just can't figure out a use case for them for me. That's why I've never bothered with one. Let me see. C2C earlier said he's got the 28mm AIS. What he's talking about is the 28 2.8 AIS from the 80s, which was basically, it was like a crowning achievement in Nikon's lens technology, because that was like an almost perfect lens. Even today, it's hard to beat that lens in performance. I have one. It's over there in the box. Mine needs servicing, but it has floating lens elements supposedly. So the guy that serviced my other lenses said he couldn't do it. At least he was upfront about it. When he saw what the lens was, he was like, I can't do nothing with it. I'll have to send it back. And he didn't charge me anything. So, but I may get a different one. But that's a nice lens. I like to use that lens. It takes beautiful photos. It's a nice like landscape lens for me, because I'll do like intermediate length landscape where I'll take pictures of like the rivers and things, waterfalls. It's a good lens for that. Randall does make a point though, and it would make sense for them to sell through all of the existing inventory that everybody has on hand. You'll have some little obscure camera store somewhere that'll have one sitting on a shelf that nobody knows about, and it'll be up there for a while, and they'll eventually move it. They'll eventually stick it on eBay or something like that, and somebody will find it and grab it. But you always have those that linger around way after Amazon runs out of them. But you'll find one every now and then afterwards, but then they'll let them get gone. They'll let that dry up for a period, and then they'll drop their new D500 killer. And that way, all the people that bought those will have time for the new to wear off, and they won't feel like they've been slighted by Nikon by them dropping this new camera that bests the one they just bought. That's a standard kind of sales tactic that applies in like almost all industries, actually, because perception is reality, and if people perceive that you have kind of withheld information, they feel cheated. And you can't tell people that you're launching a new camera, because then they won't buy the other ones. And so it creates this dichotomy that's hard to sort around. So what they'll do is they'll just let them run out, and they'll sit on the new one. They've got it. They might even have them manufactured, and they're sitting in a warehouse. And they'll wait a period of time before they release them, just to make sure that those people have gotten some utility out of that product before the new product drops, so that they just don't feel like they've been burned. Because they want the repeat business, and they have to be very careful, or if they slight their user base, they'll just switch brands. I'm looking, Bass Angler, now it's become the D500 chat. It was the Tornado chat, now it's the D500 chat. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, I'd appreciate a like, or the little hearts in the chat would be cool. Comments, which like the comments in the chat help. It tells the algorithm that there's activity, and it'll share it around and stuff, is what it boils down to. Let's see. Okay, we're good on time, actually. Randall says, how many times does Sigma use the same lens but use different mounting systems for different camera systems? Dozens, if I had to guess. Maybe more. Oh, somebody has found that button. They are wearing it out now. Look at that. That's awesome. Roy says, I love mirrorless, but DSLRs are more fun. I like them too. Currently I have one DSLR. It's a Nikon D40X. But the mirrorless, once I got the mirrorless, the electronic viewfinder was a godsend for me. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The EVF allowed me to do photography again. I was having trouble using an optical viewfinder, even with it focused for my eye. It was just frustrating, because to review images like on my D810, sure, I can see through the viewfinder and compose and fire the frame, but if I wanted to review the image, I had to make sure I looked through my bifocals to be able to see it. But with the optical viewfinder, or with the electronic viewfinder on these mirrorless cameras, I can just hit the view button while I'm looking through the viewfinder, and it'll just throw the photo up in front of my eye. I can immediately see it. I can zoom in on it. I can do whatever I want. It was like a game changer for me. All right, see Disciple. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you sticking around on the stream with us for a while. I think I got a chip in my finger from today right there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one there. I'm going to have to do some surgery on my hand. Yeah, it's a real clean environment here. Yep. I think I got it. Whew. Stupid little tiny thin slivers they'll stick in your hand in odd places. Like you would never think, how did it even get there? Well, what happens is the fan blew it over inside your finger, and then your two fingers rubbed together, and you stabbed it in your hand. Taking Friday off to shoot an engagement with the wife since it's part of a wedding package deal we're doing in October. Nice. I thought about maybe doing engagement photo shoots because those are a little more relaxed, and you have a little more creative freedom with the photos. You got to get you got to get what I call the newspaper photo, but then you can take some fun photos, and you can do some things that you really can't do on the wedding day, and it's a lot lower stress level. But I've never actually pulled the trigger on it. So tempted to give my 2 weeks sometimes and go full-time photo. Well, I am not a financial advisor, but I would do that if I were you and you're having fun with it, and it sounds like you're already into the channels and you can probably make a go of it. But yeah, I can't advise you to do that officially because I am not a financial advisor. So you understand you're listening to a machinist who plays with cameras. Remember that. Yes, I do own a company, but still, at the end of the day, if you boil it down, I'm a machinist that plays with cameras. Tornadoes to D500s to hand surgery. Yeah, it's not too bad, isn't it? It cleaned up pretty good. Stings a little now. Yes, more control. My best photo accessory in the last 5 years was my cataract surgery. Yeah, I bet. It allowed you to see again. Okay. They pay you so well you put up with the crap. I've been there. I did that too for a while. They just keep throwing more money at you, and you just keep shutting your mouth because it's like, well, if they're going to pay me these kind of stupid dollars, I guess I will play the game a little longer. Yeah, there's legitimacy in that too. So yeah, I feel you. I've been there. I've done that. Done it a few times actually. Oh, you did? Okay. We're going down a tangent, dude. You need to get some rest. Oh. Bass Angler says, I think my lungs are nothing but cast iron, aluminum, and copper at this point. He works for a company that makes AC induction motors, electric motors that run like pumps and things. So, yeah. So, yeah, you know what you're dealing with, C2C. I get it. Yeah. All right, y'all convinced me. Oh, so now you're going to quit your job? My boss is a slave driver. wouldn't be a problem, except I work for myself. There's a saying that the self-employed have to follow, and it is since you work for yourself, you get to pick your own hours. You literally get to pick any 16 hours of the day you want. Oh. Well, you can always call in sick for a week or two and just try to see if it's going to work out. See if your wife's going to run you out of the house with a shotgun or something because she can't stand you that long at one time. I know a lot of guys that retire and then their wives make them go get a job because they can't handle them being home all the time. I'm making sure I ain't missed anything in the chat. I'm reading up through it. Let me see here. Let me see. Making sure I have a small loose itinerary. I guess you call it more of a bullet points. The wife needs my salesmanship. Well, there you go. You have your reasoning right there. That makes it legitimate. Oh, yeah. This thing. The Jupiter, I finally got the lens adapter in for it to put it on the SL2 and shoot this lens. And I shot it some, and it takes really interesting photos. I got to give the little lens credit. It doesn't do bad at all. You retired a couple of months ago. No more art directors. Oh. But yeah, this is the one that I cleaned on stream the other night. The 3D jigsaw puzzle, as one of y'all so eloquently put it. And I took it out and did some photo walks with it. And it actually takes, like I said, it takes interesting pictures. I shot it stop down. I should have shot it wide open a few times. And I might have took one or two pictures wide open, but I think it would make a pretty cool portrait lens shot wide open. Might have to get a Z mount adapter to M39 now just so I can put it on the ZF. It's way smaller than the 50 f1.8, and this is a f2. It's completely different. Which, something that I don't consider on these is that there's no focus motors and there's no electronics for aperture control of the camera and any of that. So, that's physically going to make the chassis bigger. This is literally the metal housing holding the glass. So it's kind of apples and oranges on some of that. Yeah, good night, C2C. Thank you for joining the chat for a long time. Thank you for the guidance counseling, guys. Oh. Most Russian lenses are good because they're copies of Zeiss lenses. Yeah. Well, and some of them are actually Zeiss lenses because when they got East Germany, they got the Zeiss factory. And they got all the equipment and a bunch of the personnel. So they just made Zeiss lenses. I'm making sure I didn't miss something. That time in the machine shop was really taking its toll on me, I see. What was I doing? I had something else in the head. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to ask you guys, do any of y'all use those magnetically attached filters? I was considering getting some because what I want to add a circular polarizer randomly to my street photo camera but I don't want to have to get one out, take it out, thread it on. I was wondering if you can get those magnetic attached ones, and then you could get the circular polarizer and play with it, like killing window reflections when you want to take a photo through a window. I've run into that problem several times now that I've needed a circular polarizer to get rid of window reflections. I don't really worry too much about water reflections in the city, but the windows would be nice to have at times. And I was wondering if any of y'all actually use those magnetic filters and use the circular polarizer on the magnetic filters. NDs is one thing, because I'm slowing the process down if I'm adding an ND, so I've got time to screw a filter on and off. But it would even be nice for composing the image. Excuse me. With a magnetic filter, you could just pull it off, focus and compose the image, and just snap it on. You don't have to worry about when you screw the filter on if it's going to mess up something with the lens. That'd be pretty sweet. And you just take the photo. All shot. How you doing tonight? Thank you for dropping in. You've been using them, so yours has a circular polarizer in it too? I got the magnetic with the R, but got sick of them on everything else. But I haven't bought any because I wasn't sure how well the circular polarizer would work. Now I know that all you do is spin the CPL, so it may not even have a spinning mechanism. It's just going to slip on the magnets. I was curious if it worked or not. I would like to get some decent magnetic filters if it does. I don't know if Ron uses them or not, Bass Angler. That's a good question. Maybe I'll ping him and see. I might have his phone number. I don't remember if I do or not. I'll have to look and see. But we got, I know Phil Thatch uses some magnetic filters, because he'll talk about them from time to time in his videos. But yeah, all of mine are screw-on, like this variable ND that's on here. And it might even be a circular polarizer. Yeah, this one's got a circular polarizer and a variable ND in one filter. That's pretty cool. I think I bought that, and the reason it's on this lens is I bought it for landscape photos, to where I could take pictures of like rivers and things and kill some of the reflection on the water then. And when you're in the city, it's like the reflections add to the photo when I do my city stuff. I don't really try to get rid of the reflections, because like if you're shooting like water puddles after the rain, you want the reflections. You want maximum reflections actually, but the cheap Chinese magnetic filters fall off. Good to know. Yeah. My chair has been going down slowly but surely, and it's one of those pneumatically charged chairs, and it slowly leaks down, and I slowly sink. I'm just too cheap to buy another chair. Thought about taking it down to the machine shop and tack welding a little bar of metal so that it would stay fully extended all the time. Probably will do that at some point. It's a pretty comfortable chair now. Allshot says, I have the Polar Pro mag lock, and I've liked it so far, but haven't had the polarizer along for it. So it has a circular polarizer. Okay, good. That's what I was looking for. I like Polar Pro is a really nice brand. There's several of them. I like B&W real well. I'm not super keen on the Peter McKinnon filters, because I'm thinking you're buying his signature more than you're buying a filter. I'm sure it's good filters, but it's probably just B&W filters with his name on them or something, because I know he's not making those. They're under contract with somebody else. There's another brand that makes a good quality filter, but I don't remember what brand it is. But Phil's been using whatever that brand is he's been doing. which I'm pretty sure he's was it repping the brand or whatever. He got them to review as a review sample, and he's been using them to like test them for the review. But they're working really well for him, whatever brand those are. But yeah, Polar Pro is really nice stuff. Case filters. Okay. Yeah. I need to ping Phil and ask him if he has any problems with the circular polarizer on the magnetic mount. Because that's something I've been wondering. Because I've been looking at I got a stack of that gum ND filters and crap. Because you got to have them in 30 different sizes. You know. Apparently you can link to other videos in chat because it didn't shot my comment. Show my comment. Oh, show my comment. Maybe I can turn that on. Let me look. Because I didn't see it. It never showed me anything either. Where am I at? There's my mouse. Notifications. Nope, that's the wrong button. This is no, I don't want any of that. Let's see. Yes, I'm shading my eyes from the giant ring light. Oh, wow. It'll let me run polls on the chat. Huh. I'm looking for how it'll let me do that. Maybe it's over here. Let's see. No. Oh. Apparently it's blocked somewhere, and I'm not aware of where it's at either, Ray. There's 3 little dots, and what do they do? Community, participants, moderation, activity. What does that mean? Oop, what did I just do? Oh. Huh. Okay. I don't know if it's showing that to you guys or not. Let's see what it says. No. Huh. Okay. I didn't know. Is that the video where Phil's reviewing the filters, or is that the company name where you can read about the filters? Some cheap filters are plastic and not glass. Huh. I didn't know that. I had the K&F before, but someone relieved me of them. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, K&F makes pretty decent filters. I'm pretty sure that's who made this one. Yeah, this is a K&F Concepts filter. Now, these variable ones I've noticed, after you get so far up on adjusting the variable ND portion, it starts to give you the weird X in the display instead of just blotting it out, because it's doing something with polarization. It's like you got two polarized lenses, and as you turn them, they get darker, and then at a certain point, it just creates this weird black X in your picture. Oh, okay. That's weird. I didn't know it wouldn't let you. Huh. Let me see. I really don't know how to undo what I just did there. Oh, there it is. Nope. I have broken the internet, y'all. Okay. You can buy the new cylinder for your chair. I just replaced one of mine at work last week. Really? I didn't know they even sold them. I figured you had to buy a whole chair. Huh. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. That's interesting. I'll go up here. See if I can find it. Okay. Now let's see. Where's the button where it says share? Copy. Do you a solid. Let's see if it works. Hi, it took. There's the link, Ray. I just searched it and copied the link and dropped it in the chat. I got it off Amazon. Okay. Well, I will be figuring that out just as soon as the live stream's over, because that's been annoying me for quite some time now. That's Phil's review. Phil's review of the case magnetic filters. Oh, okay. Now let's see. Everything is good to go. Yes. Amazon literally has everything, dude. I ordered, let's see here. In the last 2 days, I've ordered a lav mic. I don't remember. I think I actually got a Sennheiser lav mic element with cable. I got a 12-volt relay with base DIN rail mount. I got a 6x8 plastic project box with grommets. I got a 2-amp 12-volt power supply. I've ordered thermistors, transistors, capacitors, IC chips. I even got like NAND gates, LS 40 something or 74 whatever NAND gates. I have bought literally everything from Amazon. Roy says, since going digital, the only filters I use regularly are circular polarizers and UV filters for protection. Yeah, I'm that guy that don't use UV filters on my lenses. Like, if you'll notice, take the lens hood off. Oh, the lens cap came with it. No filter. It's just the lens. It's not that I don't believe in them, because a couple of my lenses have filters on them. It's just that I don't actively seek them out and add them to my lenses. I sent my 500 PF out for Bass Angler to use for a little while, and he sent it back with a really nice B&H UV filter on it to protect it. It's on it right now. Thank you, Bass Angler. That was really nice. I appreciate the filter. But yeah, I don't seek them out to add them. I just shoot with the lens. Ever since I did that 180 millimeter f2.8 lens review from the lens that Grant sent me, I realized a scratch on the front element don't affect image quality hardly at all. Like it impacts image quality so little that it's almost impossible to tell. Like, you have to look hard to see it. Now, to be fair, we did have a crash when me and Aaron was doing one of our trips to the Smokies to do landscape photography, and we damaged it. We had a ND on top of maybe we had two NDs stacked. I don't remember. We had a couple of filters stacked, and the lens took a fall, and the filter took the beating, and the lens was okay. So I have seen that does do the job that people are saying. It will protect the lens to some degree. It did take the impact damage. Matter of fact, I think it killed two lenses that day, or two filters. I believe it killed, I don't remember if he had a circular polarizer, but I had a 5-stop ND that was on it at the time, and it bent the housing on my ND, and it busted his filter entirely. It shattered it, and the lens was okay. So yeah, there's something to be said for it. It works. That lens is a gem. Yeah. I got to get it all together and go play with wildlife, because apparently there's some swamp in Dayton, Tennessee, and every photographer in the area has been but me. They've all made videos about being there. I got to go make a video at this swamp in Dayton. Roy makes a good point. If the UV filter gets dirty, you can scrub it. You can clean it with lens cloths or whatever. If you can only clean the front element so many times before you start to rub off the metallic fluoride coating. It's just a thing. So yeah. Roy says UV he uses outdoors, but if he's in the studio, he don't worry about it. It says UV not needed in the studio. And yeah, I've just never been real big on putting filters on my lenses, except when I want to alter what the light's doing coming into the camera. But yeah, that's been a thing for me for ages. I want to share something with you guys right quick. Let me pull him up. Okay. I'm going to transition over. This is Pole Barn Garage, okay? The boy's name that has this channel is Dalton. I don't know his last name, but his first name's Dalton. Him and his boy have been doing stuff here lately together on it. His garage that he does all his mechanic work in is literally a pole barn next to his house. And he will get crashed cars. He's a body man by trade. Him and his dad do body work, and his dad is real good at body work. Like, there's an episode where they fix a broken door latch on a like a 78 Corvette, something like that. And they have to saw a hole in the door where the door lock is to reach through the door to unlatch it to be able to fix the lock assembly. They can't get in the door. And the old man cuts a hole in the door, and it's not a square hole. He just saws out the door and then has a donor door he cuts out the fill panel with and actually glues it in and then blends it so well you can't tell he ever sawed the door. It's incredible how good he is. Put that door lock hole back in play. Got it in the right spot and everything, apparently. But yeah, he'll take some kind of terrible car. Like, he's got one that's called, let's see if this shows it over here. Oh, look, live stream's up. Let's see. Let me just put it in the search. Yep, there you go. The Holy Goat. You need to, literally, this Pontiac GTO has been shot with literally thousands of rounds of ammo. It's hilarious. He gets this thing and puts it back together enough, he drives it to Pontiac rallies. It's terrible. It don't have any windows. It just has a windshield. I don't remember if it has a back glass or not. No, it has a windshield. But like, all the side windows are gone. Like, the interior's not there. It's just terrible. Yeah, so he took it to the all Pontiac car show. Yeah, but dude, this guy's hilarious. I've laughed and laughed and laughed at watching this boy build these cars. But he'll take some kind of burned car out of a junkyard that's just a hull, be some old classic hot rod, and he'll turn that car into something hilariously run. He'll get it running. He'll cobble some crap together, fix the brakes on it, and he'll drive it around. It's hilarious. But yeah, but he's one of my favorite YouTubers to just zone out and watch something on, just to take my mind off of reality. You know, I'll watch one of his videos because he's real entertaining. His what is it? Deadpan comedy or whatever. It's hilarious. To me it is. It's really funny. And now is, like I said, now is like 13, 14-year-old sons helping him, and they'll build cars, and his boy will run the camera and stuff. It's good. I enjoy it. That's my second channel plug for the night. Roy says in the film days, a UV filter prevented too much UV light, confusing the light meter. Yeah, and I finally learned about all of those weird daylight filters or whatever. You know, Nikon sells, I've got several of them from days gone by. I've saved all them filters. I got a whole shoebox full of them vintage filters in there. But they've got this weird daylight filter because apparently color film would overexpose the blues, so they filtered just a touch of it out, and it's very little, it's very subtle, but without that filter your blues wouldn't come out right or something. It was a thing back in the day. And so a bunch of these vintage lenses I bought have come with that filter on them. Some 2 or 3 might still have it there, but most of them I removed it. Those digital cameras don't suffer from that. But yeah, this has been hilarious. Man, we have went down the rabbit holes tonight, haven't we? We started out with the ZF and the 50 f1.8S, and we made our way over to the Leica SL2. We talked about how they could make the lenses smaller and more compact, and chose not to. We have covered so much ground tonight. It's been 2 hours and 8 minutes on stream. Let me see. Yeah, and I think I'm going to hang it up tonight. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get into bed because I got to go back down to the machine shop tomorrow and try to bring those parts back from the dead and figure out a solution to countersink them stupid holes. Should have learned my lesson when the first one grabbed. But I thought I could figure it out. That was a bad idea. I should have thought that through. We confirmed Z. If you want some entertainment, you go give old Dalton a watch. He's got some hilarity going on in them videos. Hassan is a loser. Oh Lord, you guys are hilarious. But I think I'm gonna hang it up at this point, guys. Go ahead and maybe go get me a little bit of some kind of a snack for a midnight snack. Well, 10:30 snack, but and then hop in the bed and get some rest. Teresa wasn't feeling real hot this evening, so she went ahead and went to bed early. Hence, I hopped on stream with you guys since she was already asleep. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a good time tonight, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around as long as you did. Like I said, if you hadn't hit that like button, and down in the down below, give me that like. Let me know right quick in the chat, did y'all see ads? Because I went to great effort to turn them off tonight. Just throw that down in the chat if you saw ads playing, because if you did, YouTube's running them on their own. Hey, I'm a night owl. I've got a Sigma Filtermatic 16mm that had close colored filters built into it. Really? That's interesting. A Filtermatic 16mm. No ads. Good. Because, Yeah, I went through the settings and found all of the settings for the ads, and I cut that crap off because I was tired of the ads playing during the stream. I didn't even know it was doing it until Aaron brought that up that day. I had no idea it was doing it. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And at some point, Gary, we'll link up and we'll do a video. Maybe we'll go out to Pitcher, Oklahoma. There's a lot of photography to do there. There really is. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. So until next time, I get to do it with the ZF tonight. Get your camera out and go take a picture with it, no matter what kind it is. And we'll see y'all soon. Thank you. Good night. Let's see.